Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's radio network, and you are watching The Mystery School. And this is on Thursday night, February 8th. And we have our co-hosts with us tonight as well, Carl and Ortrun Franklin. Ortrun is under the weather this evening, and so it'll be Carl and I. Ortrun, of course, even though she might not be on camera, she's still with us, right? She's still with us. And so I'm going to bring Carl on, and we're going to do a little introduction of the topic, and also to do a couple of things, how we usually ask you guys to do a few things for us, right? Hi, Carl.
Hi.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Neshi.
Hi, Carl. I'm just going to ask our friends who are coming in to watch us, to do a couple of things for us. And that is that if they wouldn't mind liking the broadcast and also sharing it. And the reason why we do that, if they would help us out with that, is because, Facebook is a funny little creature. And sometimes in order for us to be found easily, we have to have people liking us and sharing the video. And that way people who were going to watch the show and they get busy and they kind of forget, gives them a nice little gentle nudge, is like, oh, the show is starting. And then it also does something else. People who may never have seen the show before might see the notification and the sharing, and so they'll join us. So, and I'm going to do the same thing. I have my phone out. It doesn't take very long. And I just got to find us. And I'm going to like it, and I'm going to share it. And I'm going to share it to our community here at Star Nations at the closed group for this for the radio and the magazine, because that's where just about everybody is when they go check things out for us. And so I'm just going to say, Carl and I are live streaming right now. Just so that they know that we're ready to go. See, and it doesn't take long. And if I misspelled anything, you guys, sorry about that. But you know how hard it is to type on that little keyboard. So that doesn't take long. So here we are, Carl, Thursday night. What's it like down there in Florida?
Well, it's been running the I've got feedback here.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't hear it on this end at all.
It's been running in the upper 70s, and now this week or the rest of the week's going to be in the low 80s.
Oh,
so
my.
It's been wonderful. But up until it's been cool. The highs have been in the 60s.
Well, here in Wisconsin, and there's some people who confuse us and put us in Canada, but we're not. we're a little bit further south than that. Our high today was 20. I think it was 20 or 21. When I got up this morning, our high was 4 degrees above zero this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's supposed to snow later tonight, so it'll get a little bit warmer. I just want to let you know that we have somebody in the chat room who is saying hello. Now.
Hi, Anna.
Yeah. Anna, I was going to try to pronounce your first name, but I'm glad Carl knows you because he called you Anna. It's a pretty name. And welcome to the show. Tonight's show is all about spiritual wellness. And before the show, Carl and I were chatting a little bit, and I was saying that maybe there's some people who are just the first time that they're going to be watching our show. And there's other people who maybe are just waking up and realizing that, spiritually waking up, that they are not just living a physical life, but they're also living a spiritual life. And that, you know how that is, because we've all been there. We've all been there in those early stages, those early days. And so this show might be helpful to start with a very easy question, maybe a question that's on other people's minds. And that is, what is spiritual wellness? What is it? And once we know what it is, then how do you know you have it? What do you think about that, Carl?
Well, my spirit family just talked to me, and I'll share with you what they said.
Okay.
They said spiritual wellness begins where religion ends. Okay, religion is a belief in a supreme being that is out there someplace.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality is making the transition to the divine essence being more within us.
Okay.
And I wanted to start at the very, very end of this. And the height to me of spirituality is feeling and knowing that and being at one with that divine essence that exists within all of us. And we refer to it as our soul. And the soul is present in all world religions. And in my experience, I'm a seminary graduate, we mentioned the soul, but nobody ever defined it. And I want to define it for you, and you can do with this definition what you like. But I believe the soul is a microcosm of the creator of our universe.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have this microcosm of the creator within us. And because we're in physical form and we're living in a third, fourth, and now a fifth dimensional planet, that allows the creator to experience this level of its creation. And as we tune into it and become one with it, to, I'm going to say, modify or improve this level of the creation through us.
Uh-huh.
So the ultimate goal of spirituality is to become one with the indwelling presence of the Creator. How does that resonate with you?
You know, it makes a whole lot of sense to me. And I'll tell you why, is because in the background, my culture that I grew up in, my mother really did also have the faith in the Lutheran Church as well, right? But we also had, underneath that, we also had the culture, the Native American culture, and the belief of a creator, and that the creator created everything, and everything, it has a living essence to it. And that our soul is a aspect of the creator. And so that we're here to experience something for the creator. That's what I grew up with. So what you're saying makes perfect sense to me. What I never understood or didn't know about until probably about 10 or 15 years ago is that the dimensional differences, the third, fourth, fifth dimensions. And so exploring that and understanding that through my soul makes it so much easier than trying to send it through my mental brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
The physical form.
I believe in order to experience the Creator within us, it's really important that we connect our mind and our heart and work out of what I call our heart mind. Because it has to be a feeling as well as a thought.
Mm-hmm.
And Janice is just saying.
Yeah, here, I'll put it back up. Janice is saying it's exquisite when you feel it.
That's right. That's what makes it real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right, Janice. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is that's part of the key, don't you think, Carl, is the feeling it through your heart, recognizing it, and maybe even remembering it, rather than trying to process it through your mental mind first. You know, it kind of goes against our training here on Earth, our formal education.
It does. It does. And I think that's a part of what limits us is the whole educational system is designed to help us develop our mind. And there is virtually nothing in our formal educational system that helps us develop our heart.
Right. That's so true.
Well, thoughts have power, but the power pales in comparison to what a thought coupled with emotion has. And I think all of creation has been created out of a thought linked with desire.
Yeah.
And that's not only true for us, I think it's probably true for the Creator too.
I betcha it is. I betcha it is, because if we're created in the image of the Creator, right? Our essence, then wouldn't we have the essence of the feelings, the emotions, the joy? I keep hearing the word over and over: ecstatic.
I like that. I like that.
Because it is the emotions that give fuel to the thoughts to bring them into the physical.
Yes. 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 And when you combine thought and emotion, you not only have, well, a tremendous amount of energy. And in fact, we as humans who are, as you said, created in the image and likeness of God, we have more of the divine essence within us than any of the other more than 1 million creatures on the earth.
Wow. Say that again. That's a large number.
Well, yeah, and that's an understatement. The anthropologists estimate that there are somewhere at this point between 1 and 2 million different life forms on the planet. And of all of them, we have more of the divine essence or the life energy, if you will. And we are the one species that has, in many ways, reshaped the surface of the earth. We are the only species that can dramatically change the atmosphere and the water of the. We're the only species that have created governments, religions, economies, etc. And it's hard to look around and see anything that we did not create or was created by nature. It's all man-made. Okay, so we are the gods of the planet, and that's why I think Jesus said, don't you know you're God? And the psalmist said the same thing. You are God.
Yeah.
But we're gods. I'm going to say we tend to be gods of the earth. We're like as a species, we're more like a planetary god.
Yeah, with a small g.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Right. I don't even like the word God. I would much prefer the word creator, not for us, but for the one we normally call God.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in the Ho-Chunk language, God is called Ma'una, and in translation to English, it means the creator of all things.
Okay.
Earthmaker, creator of all things.
Okay. Though Ortrun can't talk, she can still write me notes, which I'm appreciative of.
Okay.
And she wants me to clarify, what's the difference between the brain and the mind?
Oh, good one, Ortrun.
Okay. To me, the brain, that's a physical organ in our head. And I equate that with the laptop computer that I'm on right now. That laptop computer, gosh, that has a tremendous amount of information. It has a memory, and but if it wants more than that, or if I as a person want more than is in my brain, for the laptop, we have to go into the internet.
Yeah.
And the internet is equal to our subconscious mind. The computer is our conscious mind, that we have in our memory, our ability to think, and so on. So with the conscious mind, and you connect with the subconscious, that connects us with our mind, and on the computer, it connects us with the cloud.
Yes.
And the cloud has basically all of the information stored on all of the computers around the world. And the mind, the cloud, has all of the information, not only of humanity, but it has of I'm going to say, of all of the aspects of God that are somewhere, anywhere in the second, third, fourth, fifth, and even at times we can touch into the sixth dimension, which is beyond physical.
Right.
And that's the mind that's available to us. And that brings, to me, that brings up a key point. If you want to communicate with the divine essence within you, you're not going to do it through prayer. Prayer is a monologue. You're going to have to go into a meditative state where you're working out of conscious and subconscious aspects of your mind together, and then it becomes a dialogue. And as you develop your sensitivity, you can feel the presence of not only the divine essence within you, but the spirit beings around you.
Right, right.
And that's the epitome of spirituality for me.
Me too. Me too. Because, when you say prayer, when I say prayer, it's usually to express something, a desire of some sort.
You're asking for something.
You're asking for something, right? And usually for me, it's usually for someone else.
Yes.
Somebody needs some help with something.
Yes.
When I go into meditation, it really is to listen, to be the listener of the conversation and not necessarily the talker of the conversation. I might ask some questions. I might say, do I understand this correctly? And state back to what I just was told or shown. But really it is listening to spirit.
Can I throw out another thought for you here?
Sure. Go ahead.
I do also listen, and when you listen and you're talked to, it's called channeling. Okay, you're getting information, and a lot of it is coming from higher than a human level.
Yes.
But also, what I've learned is that your spirit family, that is the angels, the heavenly guides, and your teachers, and even higher aspects of yourself, they're restricted in terms of what they can do for you by the law of non-interference.
Right.
So in meditation, when I'm feeling closest and the channels of communication are most open, I also ask.
Yes.
And listen.
Yep.
And for that to be effective, then the asking part, you need to be open to receive. And I find that for the spirit beings, it's very, very difficult for them to communicate with us through our conscious mind. So we need to be in the meditative state in order to receive the answer.
Yeah. The meditation that I've been doing for a really, really long time is actually coming through the heart, is getting literally moving from your mental mind, moving, doing what we call soul traveling, going from the mental mind down through my body, down into my physical heart, where I can connect with that sacred place in our heart to have my meditation. And it's different than shamanic travel, because in a shamanic travel, we're going to the different worlds, lower, middle, and upper. This is different. This is traveling to your spiritual essence, directly to the connection that we have to the Creator. And
would you consider that where you're really going is you're going home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And it feels completely different than any kind of other meditation that I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know, if those listening, if any of you, how you're reacting to this, and if you have had any experiences like Neshi's talking about.
Well, yeah. Let's say hi to Anna, of course, and then Janice is with us too. Janice Francisco, and Sonia is with us, and Elena is with us.
Yeah.
Hi, Elena. Thank you for being with us. And Robin is with us. Hi, Robin. We also have Bill Elliott. Welcome, Bill. It's good to see you in the chat room. Thanks for being with us. You're saying spot on. Thanks. I appreciate that. And so Carl's asking you guys the question. If you have that place that you go to in meditation where it's different than any other kind of meditation because you are connecting to your essence, connecting to the creator in that place. Does it feel different for you? Yeah. So let us know, type it in the chat room and let us know, because that's a really good question, Carl. Yeah. Okay. So Judy's saying yes, she does. Judy. Hi, Judy. It's good. Thank you for being with us tonight. Tell us a little bit about that. What's that feeling for you when you make that connection? Hi, Pam. Pamista is with us too. Thank you. There is a thing about this. Okay, when we first started the show, we were talking about spiritual wellness, and I had asked Carl, those people who might just have maybe first time they're watching the show, or they're just realizing that they're a spiritual being in a physical body, starting out their conscious earth walk here. I asked Carl a question about what is spiritual wellness. What is that? And Carl said that he wanted to start from the end and work forward. So we're working our way forward. For those of you who just joined us, that we're talking about spiritual wellness, and Carl gave us a great definition of our soul and where that is. And so,
Yeah, let me repeat that, Neshi, okay?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Our soul is a microcosm of the universal creator. We are created in the image and likeness of God. So because he can implant, or she can implant within us this divine essence of him herself.
Mm.
And we are then the creator in physical human body here on this third, fourth, fifth dimensional planet. And Jesus said, don't you know you're God? And we are, in essence, we are the gods of the planet, because we have more divine essence and wisdom and so on within us. And we're the only species that have created governments and economies and religions and healthcare and technology, and the only species that can leave the planet.
That's true. That's true. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have a couple people here sharing with us. I'm going to take our names down so that we can see their comment. Anna is saying, for me, it feels like joy, happiness, and a floating sensation.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Please, in that state, please express your gratitude, your appreciation, send them your love. And if you have any requests, do not hesitate to ask, because they feel that same way about you. And if they can help and you don't ask, that hurts them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. When they're, I don't want to say they're assigned to us, because that makes it sound like there's this hierarchy. They're our family. They love us. They want us to do well. They want us to be happy. And so, so if we don't ask them, I get this picture sometimes that maybe they're playing poker or playing a card game and they're waiting for me to ask. Well, she's going to do it now. Nope, not this time.
There's another side to that for me. And that is that we're their teachers.
Yeah.
because most of them have never had a physical body. They've never been in a physical reality. They've never born or raised children, especially teenagers, and so on. So by observing us, they're able to understand this level of God's creation without physically having to come here.
Yeah.
So they very much appreciate what we're doing for them, and if they can help us, literally, can you imagine being a parent and your child is going through something, but you have to wait until they ask to help, and the pain you're going through while you're waiting
and watching.
Yeah, don't put them through that.
No. Now, Judy is saying it's just a peaceful place rather than being in the Megatron on a regular place. It's everything. It's like everything is lifted.
Did you know, Judy, that peace is one of the highest things that we can feel on the earth? There's only one thing higher that I'm aware of, and I call it at-one-ment. Okay? If you've read David Hawkins' Power versus Force,
yes,
I think peace rates right around, 700? Higher than joy, and joy rates higher than love.
Yeah, love is 500, joy is 6. I think you're right. I think peace is 7 or 8 on the map of consciousness.
Yeah.
But
when you get into at-one-ment, that's even higher.
Yeah.
And that's feeling not only at one within yourself and within the world in which you live, but at one with the divine essence and the entire spirit realm. Mm-hmm. And when you consider that our universe has 11 different dimensions or levels or densities, and if you can feel at one with all of creation, wow.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. All right. Nope. Now, Jeanette's saying something here that I think we need to address. She says, trying to stay grounded when it's easier to stay up in the light.
Yes, Jeanette, you're right. But we need to be both grounded and we have to have our feet on the earth and our head in the heavens. And what I really strive for is I want to live in two worlds at the same time. Mm-hmm. I want to live with my spirit family, with my divine essence, but I want them to use this body so that they can express themselves through it.
Right. Because we are the connection between heaven and earth.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So I want to thank Jeanette for actually stating that in the chat room. Thank you for doing that and she also says, speaking truths tonight. And yes, that is your truth. And to share that means that someone else was thinking that, or someone else needed that piece of information. So thank you. Elena, she says, during meditation, I feel connection to my spirit family, and I feel how they are working on me and filling me, I think she means, with divine radiant light, and it feels like home.
And, she's a good friend of ours, and you can really sense that in her presence.
Aww.
Joy and the love that radiate forth from her, and all from her children, too.
Yeah. And we have a good friend of mine in the house, Pam. Pam's from Alaska. And she says, for me, as we travel into the heart, going home, connect to the source, we can return to innocence, not needed to know anything, and we can allow the depth to open around us and simply be.
Oh, so wonderful, Pam. You're absolutely right. Yes. Thanks for sharing that.
Mm-hmm. And Janice, hi, Janice. Thank you for being here tonight. Janice says, so many of my connections come while I'm reading or even sleeping. Mm-hmm. I hear what I call the angelic choir, the hum, or the sound of the earth's heartbeat will wake me up.
You're tuned in, Janice. That's wonderful. We've got a really highly evolved audience here. That is great.
Yeah. I mean, just and I realize that some people, when they first join Star Nations and they're just starting to watch the shows, all the show hosts, all the contributing writers, we're very intuitive people. Many of the hosts and contributing writers are spiritual teachers. And so when someone like Carl, who is one of our elders here at Star Nations, I love listening to Carl and Ortrun when they share the information, because not only is it validating, but it also has a way of helping us to find words to describe, much like what Janice just described. Finding the words, because sometimes there's no words. We can't think of the words because it's beyond human description, right? Mm-hmm. And so to have someone to be able to put it into the words so that we can understand it, there's validation to it. And so when we say that our audience tonight has a higher content of vibration, we mean it because we can feel it. Is that right, Carl?
Yes. Something you might be interested in doing live script readings, and I've been doing it for 20 years, and I've probably done about 3,000 of them. Mm-hmm. And the only ones that come for this are light workers. When I started doing it, the light workers were functioning. One of the questions I ask is, what percentage of your awake time are you spending in the third, fourth, and fifth levels of consciousness? Mm-hmm. In those dimensions. And when I started it, there would be roughly 30% of their time that they were spending in the third dimension. And in the fifth dimension, and if they hit double digits at all, it was really great. Mm-hmm. Whereas now they're spending 32 to 42% of their awake time in the fifth dimension. That's more than tripled. And they're down to anywhere from 12, 13% up to maybe 17 to 19% in the third dimension. Mm-hmm. So that's been cut more than in half, or about in half.
Wow.
And the fourth dimension, which to me is a dimension of transition, has been consistent, 45 to 55%, and which indicates that the light workers are still spending a lot of their time and energy growing and evolving and becoming.
Right. Because, this is what I feel, Carl, is that as long as we're here in a physical body, we're still learning. We're still striving for that mastery over our physical life, whether it's the emotions, our thoughts, what makes a physical life, those kinds of things that we're here to master this earth walk. And so we're learning as much as we can for our soul growth. So as long as we're in the physical body, we're constantly learning all the time.
I think as long as we're on the earth, this I cannot imagine a more fantastic school than the one we're in called Planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And we're certainly here to learn. We're also here to be of service.
Yes.
And to me, I don't, maybe this is my naivete or my head in the sand, but I don't want to focus on the challenges. I don't have to focus on them. They're going to come to me and I have to deal with them. But I want to focus on the outcome, mm-hmm. and that is becoming one with my divine essence and allowing it a free run to use this body for its purposes.
Yeah. For me, I had a really rough 2017. And what I learned from all of that was allowing what I do to come through my heart and not my brain, not the egoic part of me, mm-hmm. but through my heart. To lead that way, that means that my soul is leading.
Yes.
And the ego we still need it. It's still there. But the ego is really more of a worker bee now. Yes. And when we're in a physical body, I really think that everything that we experience, everything that we that comes into our awareness is really all about our soul growth. everything, everything. And so I would rather spend my time and my energy on what am I learning here? I want to see it clearly so I understand what I'm here to learn about this piece. I don't dwell in the blame game. Who did what? Who said what? Who did what to who? You know, if it's what I'm concerned about is my side of the road, my side of the street. What can I do to learn this, whatever it is I'm learning, in the most graceful way possible and as completely as possible?
I agree.
Yeah.
When challenges are here to give us a learning opportunity. Mm-hmm. And what I really sincerely attempt to do is when a challenge comes, my first question is, what are you here to teach me? And I find that once I have the learning, the challenge kind of dissipates. It's like pricking a balloon.
And here, Janet, I have to show this, Janet. Or Jeanette, I have to show this. She says, and this is talking, I think she's talking about the fifth dimension and the feeling about it. Let's spread it like butter on our morning toast. I think that's what you're talking about, Jeanette. If I'm wrong about that, please write that in the comments so that we get that correct for everybody. That's a good one. I like that. So would you say then, Carl, that when we are aware, when we have those challenges, that we're asking our spiritual guides, our spiritual team, what's really going on here? I want to see this with clarity. What am I supposed to learn with this? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What part of that, or is it the whole thing that is our spiritual wellness?
I'd have to, but I don't know what you mean by the whole thing, but I would agree with it nonetheless.
Well, you know, what I'm trying to do is help people understand that spiritual wellness just isn't a definition. It's our life.
Yes, and it is a process. A lot of what comes to us was sent to us by our spirit family. Mm-hmm. Because in preparing this lifetime, we said that these are the things we want to learn. This is a service I want to give. And these challenges come to us because we said we wanted to learn it. Okay? Mm-hmm. And it can be not necessarily a challenge, but an opportunity so that we can be of service to others. And again, in our life script, that's what we planned for in this lifetime. And one of the main roles of our spirit family, from my perspective, is they're here to keep us on script.
Yeah.
So they will send us the people, situation, circumstances, event, and so on that we need to do that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't always have to follow that. We can sidestep it. We can ignore it. Mm-hmm. And if we choose to ignore it, it's not going to go away. It'll come back again more intense. Yes. That's to deal with it the first time.
Yep. Yes. You know, to deal with it when it's this big.
Yes.
Rather than when it's even bigger. Let's say, got to go the right direction here. And not have to deal with the cosmic 2x4.
Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. And if we do that, we can make so much more progress in this lifetime.
Yep.
And I really feel that we are now in the midst of a window of opportunity because of the ascension of the earth. We have the chance to, I think, achieve 10 to 20 lifetimes of growth in this one lifetime. All right.
Wow.
And okay. If we came in here as functioning primarily in the third dimension, we have the opportunity to leave here being functioning a majority of our time in the fifth dimension. Mm-hmm. That opportunity has never before existed in the history of humanity.
Wow. And we chose to be here at this time.
Not only did we choose, but we were chosen among the many volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Thousands that wanted to be here.
Oh, we're probably 1 in 1,000, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But so the really good news is, as you know, I see about a couple thousand children every Christmas time. They all sit in my lap and we look into each other's eyes. And anyway, I really get a sense of their energy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now over 60% are coming in with this advanced DNA with crystal and indigo energies.
Yeah.
And 14 years ago, when I started this, it was only 12 to 15%.
Oh my gosh.
So the growth here is phenomenal in terms of the human race evolving and the earth now. Well, let me back up here. The collective consciousness of humanity
Mm-hmm.
in the last Christmas, New Year's season, it crossed the line from the high third dimension into the low level of the fourth dimension. All right.
Okay,
So,
and the fourth dimension is a transition place.
That's right. So now the collective consciousness of humanity is in the process of transitioning.
Mm-hmm.
And if the light workers are any indication, 50% of their time they're going to be. So the rate of growth is being greatly accelerated.
Right.
And these children coming in with this phenomenal IQs and the crystal kids with their hearts wide open.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic time to be here.
Yeah, it is. It is. I was just going to say I wanted to say hello to Christine. Christine's in the house. Nice for you to join us. She's a good friend of mine from Iowa. So we have all of these people, humans, souls in physical form, the children who are vibrating at a much higher rate than ever before. You have a lot of people who, no matter what religion they belong to, really, that is, if they're in their heart, they're vibrating higher than their ancestors were.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we're talking about attaining spiritual wellness, when we look at that, I have to say that most of us have spiritual wellness. We may not recognize it. We may not consciously know it's there.
Maybe on our bad days.
And we do have them. We do have them on occasion. On our occasion. So when spiritual wellness, if we have it, because we do, and we recognize it, we claim it, how do we maintain it?
Meditation, meditation. If you want to communicate with your higher selves, if you want your higher selves, your soul to communicate with you, that busy conscious mind is really poor at listening.
Mm-hmm.
The subconscious mind is very good at listening, and the subconscious mind has a much wider variety of languages that it can be communicated with. Did you know that the primary language of your subconscious mind is visualization?
Imagery, yes.
The secondary language is emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And the third language is our words.
Right.
Whereas the conscious mind, I mean, hey, if it's not words and you can throw in some emotion,
yeah,
visualization, except for those that are artists, are pretty much out the window.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the subconscious is so quiet. It functions at lower frequencies and closer to the frequencies of our spirit beings and our soul.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a natural connection there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so when we take the opportunity, make the opportunity to go into meditation, even if it's just for a few minutes, we're quiet. And so how many people in our audience actually, when you have your eyes closed or maybe even open, that you see images, color, that's part of the language that Carl is talking about, is that your spiritual team, your spiritual helpers, they're communicating with you with the imagery. And many of us are we're waiting. We want to hear it, right? We want the words. and they're actually already communicating to us through the imagery.
The imagery and the emotion are the most powerful ways they communicate.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rob is asking a question here. He's asking, hi, Rob. Thanks for being with us. What frequency, alpha or theta?
Alpha. Okay, let me go into this. We're in the beta state now. Brain waves are at about 22 per second. To fall asleep, we're at 7 brain waves per second. That's when the conscious mind clicks off. But to get to the state of sleep, we have to go through the alpha state. When our brain waves hit 13 per second, the subconscious begins to surface. Mm-hmm. And the conscious mind isn't off until we hit 7. So between 8 and 13, we're working out of conscious and subconscious together, which is also called a state of ingeniousness, because we have the potential of working out of up to 100% of our mind instead of only the 10 or 15% that's the conscious mind.
Right.
So that's why we meditate in the alpha state, because we're working out of the conscious mind is aware of what the subconscious mind is getting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's about balance.
Yes.
Yeah. It's about balance. And that way, when we're receiving the information, we bring it in, and I have to sit with it for a little while. I might not understand it 100%. I need to sit with those images and the feelings. Some of it comes right away, but other times I need to sit with it for a bit to truly understand it. And Jeanette is saying, when I was asking about the colors and imagery, she says all the time.
Okay. And my guess is that, Jana, you probably have some crystal energy, because they tend to be the more visual and the more feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Rob is saying that he does too.
Good. Yep. Same with you, Rob, then.
Yeah. And Janice is saying, if I open my eyes in the dark, I see colors. A purple light has guided me through many stormy night while traveling in a blinding rain or snow. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yes.
Like beings. Yes. Yeah. Jeanette's agreeing with you. She's saying yes, indeed, about the crystal. Yeah. So, it's not, the show is to be talking about spiritual wellness and how to attain it and how to maintain it. And really, audience, you already have it. It's recognizing it, claiming it, being it. Mm-hmm. And the maintaining of it is like any part of your health overall, is to take the time to meditate, just to be quiet.
Okay, I'd like to offer 2 other suggestions that can help maintain it. Mm-hmm. In my meditation, if not every day, at least every other day or so, I ask my spirit family to help me open as wide as possible all of the chakras and energy centers. Yeah. Not only in my 4 bodies, but the energy centers that go down into the earth and the energy centers that are above me. Mm-hmm. And not only to open them and help me keep them open, but to also help them to stay at the highest frequency they're capable of, mm-hmm. while being in balance with one another.
Right.
Okay. That allows me in channeling, it allows me in through my everyday to take in from the higher dimensions, the higher frequency energies, It allows me to take in from the earth the powerful earth energies to give my physical body strength.
Mm-hmm.
And as we mix the two, we have the best of both worlds then.
Right.
And the other thing that I work with every day, at least once a day, is I'm asking my spirit family to please build a bubble of light around me, around Ortrun, around our house, around our car,
Mm-hmm.
and to fill that energy with the energy, the wisdom, the love of the spirit family, primarily the angels.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And I do that because if anything is coming toward me of a dark nature,
Mm-hmm.
it cannot penetrate the bubble of light.
Right.
And what I do every day, and this is a special part of the work that I do, and I know that I volunteered to do it, so it's in my life script, is when I wake up in the morning, it varies from, it used to be a couple dozen, now it can be a couple thousand each morning, disembodied souls.
Yeah.
And when they had the opportunity to go into heaven, which was there when they died, they said no, they weren't ready for it. They were fearful or whatever, but now they are ready. And so I've got psychics have said I've got a red flashing neon sign that we can't see, but they can, that says, come to me and I can help. And my job is to help them find the entrance to heaven. Because when they said no, they didn't want to go, poof, the entrance was gone for them.
Right.
So anyway, I simply call in their loved ones from the heavenly realm to guide them to the angels of transition that then take them to the tunnel, and they have a second chance of going in.
Mm-hmm.
Loved ones and encourage them to go in because that is in their highest good.
Right.
So anyway, but if I didn't have that bubble of light, wowee, there's a real good chance that some of them would try to attach to me, and I don't need that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
And in the counseling I do, the first thing we check is, do they have any entities attached to them? And if they're addiction or they're chronically depressed or even chronically ill, almost always there are. So then as long as these entities are attached, there's no cure.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, that's a part of my role and a part of what I have to do to in order to stay on my path and do what I'm here to do. Mm-hmm. And it's important for you to keep yourself protected too, all of us.
Right, all of us. Yeah. I get a little bit of feedback going on my end here. I don't know what that is. But we'll keep going. Hopefully it'll relieve itself and it'll go away. But you're right, and the work that I have done in the past about being protected, very similar, using the Merkaba and programming it, and it's very similar to what you described. It's impenetrable, 5 layers of light, so I can, and I was shown that a long, long time ago because of the kind of work that I was doing and the service I was providing. And so things have shifted a bit, but I still have it. And now I use it for different reasons. But, we have somebody, I just love this. I have to show this, Jeanette. She's saying, I work in an emergency room and have to shut myself off oftentimes. 18 years in this career field has me still loving my humanitarian side, yet struggling with energetically. I do surround myself and my family, but it seems my life force seems a bit depleted due to the empathy, to be empathic.
Okay, Janet, can I offer you a suggestion here? Do not, in your work, use your energy. Keep your crown chakra wide open and ask your spirit family to channel their energy through you. So what you're doing is you're then sending them your spirit family's energy, which will likely be at the high end of your energy spectrum. So it can be more helpful. And as it's going through you, instead of you being depleted, it helps to energize you too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, in my world, that language would be, you'd be using the creator's energy and not your personal energy.
Yes. Yeah.
When you use your personal energy is when you feel depleted, when you feel, you almost feel hungover. You feel out of sorts. Go home and take a salt bath, smudge down, drink a lot of clean water to get yourself back on track. But do what Carl suggested. Your spiritual family is there for you to ask for their help, and let us know how that goes, Jeanette. Let us know.
And Jeanette, when you do that, you're actually doing your spirit family a favor, because they are looking for opportunities to ground their energy into the human collective consciousness, or the consciousness of individuals, and also to ground their energy into the earth. So it's a win-win. You win, your patients win, and your spirit family wins.
Yeah. So she's saying, so thankful I was drawn here tonight. Namaste. You're welcome. And she's saying that it resonates with her. So
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for sharing with that. And then Rob, thank you so much. Rob, where'd you go? Here. Rob, that echo that I was getting, that feedback, he's saying is caused from my voice from the speaker getting picked up by the mic. So thanks for letting me know that. It's something simple. And Janice is asking, could that be used in any service industry?
Yes. Yeah, it can be. It can be used daily, just in everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we should be doing that morning and night.
And in fact, if you're doing healing work, please do not use your energy, whether it's a hands-on or whether it's distant healing energy. Please tune into your spirit family and open wide your chakras so that it's their energy that can flow through you. It's going to probably be of a higher quality energy than you yourself can send out of your physical body. So it's going to be more effective, and it's going to, as I say, energize you and be more helpful to the person you're sending it to.
Right. Absolutely. That's good stuff. Gee, I hope we covered everything we were supposed to cover tonight. Because we're at the top of the hour. Can you believe that? Went by fast. It always does. It always does. So, Carl, if somebody wants to have a life script with you, how do they find you?
Our website is one word, ourspiritualascension.com. And that's our web page, and you can sign up for it right there. Or our phone number is there too. And if you have paper and pencil, I'll give you that. It's 616-363-6773. And we can do life scripts by telephone or in person. But either way, it's essential that they be recorded at your end. Because there's just too much information to remember.
And that's true.
It takes about an hour. And our website, I don't know if the webmaster has changed it yet. We haven't changed our price in 20 years. So it still says $75, but this year we're charging $95.
Oh, well, that's fair. It really is, because listen, I had my life script done by Carl. I want to say it was like 4 years ago or so, maybe 5. I tell you what, it was so helpful, so really helpful. And Carl puts a lot of work into it. It's not a 15-minute reading.
No, it takes just under an hour.
Yeah. Yep. It does. So I have your email, not your email, but your website address up on the screen. I also put it into the comment section.
Thank you.
Yep. And any last words that you'd like to share with our audience before we say goodnight?
You are a divine aspect of the creator of our universe. Allow and invite that aspect within you to shine forth. That will benefit. It's a win-win for you, for the earth, for humanity. And it's people doing that are greatly exhilarating the ascension of the earth.
Mhm.
And it will allow you to go through the ascension process so much more smoothly.
Yep. Yeah. And my last 2 cents to this is, what a great way to start your day and to end your day is to send your love, the love that you have for Grandmother Earth, for Mother Earth, is to bring images to you about the things that you just love about her and thankful for, that you appreciate, and you love her, and you send your love to her.
Yes.
Down to her core, and do the same thing for Grandfather Sky.
Yes.
Everything that you love, all those imageries, the stars, the moon, the sun, all of that, the things that you love about the sky, gather all that love and you send it up to Grandfather.
Yes.
And you know what? They respond. They will answer you.
Yes.
And if you do that every morning and every night, you'll feel their love with you all day long, all evening long. And it's what we do to help humanity and to help the earth, really.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you will share what you have learned.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Neshi.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. And thank you, Ortrun. Hope you feel better. We'll see you next month on the Mystery School. And by the way, it's going to be on a special evening. It's not going to be the second Thursday in March. It will be the last Thursday in March for the Mystery School. So we'll see you next month. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Good night.
God bless.